Hey YouTube, I'm back with another deck profile. In this video, I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my Nubatama deck. So this one has been requested a couple times. I've seen in the comments people asking to see my Nubatama deck or if I have one. So I've always had this deck since set 13, and only upgrading it in minor ways. Like for example, the Fighters Collection card from last year. I threw it in even though I don't really like this card. But this is my Nubatama deck. I wouldn't consider it a competitive deck. Even though Nubatama can randomly win games sometimes just because of the style of play where it's hand disruption and it binds things. But problem with it is that they don't really have that much support. This is probably like one of the least supported clans in the game, so it's kind of a deck that you build and then you don't really change it that often. So start off, I am running 2 Shura Stealth Dragon, Yoza Kuroko. The only reason I'm running him in here is because of variety. I honestly don't really like this card because you discard 2 cards from your hand to activate his limit break effect. So I would prefer to run this guy instead at 4 copies. Shura Stealth Dragon, Kabuki Kongo, but I did want to change it up a little bit. This is supposed to be a fun deck. But either one of these is okay. This guy is definitely better though because he gets rid of all the interceptors and you don't have to discard cards from your hand. So he works really well with the starter as well. So 4 of boss monsters and then 4 of Shura Stealth Dragon, Kikuchiyo Kongo. So this is the break ride. 4 of him because the break ride is actually still really good because it forces the opponent to discard 1 card from their hand and then they have to bind 1 card from their hand. So they go -2 on your break ride turn when you swing, which is pretty good against most decks with the exception of decks that have huge hands like OTT, Bermuda Triangle. Sometimes Shadow Paladins can be in that category as well. But yeah. 4 of him, because you can always just break ride on break ride. You can also stride the extra copies of him if you had to open up with one of these guys instead. So, but he's pretty good just because of the power gain and because he minuses 2 from the opponent on the turn that you're attacking with him or with the break ride effect. So, 4 of that guy. And then I am running 1 of their first original grade 3 from set 1. All the way back, Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster. I still have my playset of this guy, but he's only 9k, grade 3. He has Vanguard or Rearguard effects, and that's why I still play him for his Rearguard effect. Pretty good hand disruption card. So if you don't really want to call him down, you can always just use him as stride fodder. So 9 grade 3s to help out for stride increases the chance. For grade 2s. 4 Stealth Beasts, Tamahagane. So this guy, basically very basic card. When he's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, you choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and you bind it face up, which is basically like banishing. And then the opponent puts it in their hand at the end of the turn. So you almost always use this to get rid of an interceptor, or if something that you know you can use your starter to get rid of. It'll just force more cards out of their hand if they want to protect it. So, really good card. Definitely you want to run 4 of those. And then next, 4 Stealth Dragon, Kikuchiyo. So this guy is the power gainer. He hits strong columns. And he's actually really good with Kabuki Kongo. Again, another reason why this guy, in my opinion, is actually better than the Fighters Collection one. Because every time something gets bound, he gets 2k. So if you bind the whole field, he gets 10k. So his effect stacks. So very good with him specifically. And then 3 10k because they don't have a whole lot of other options. The only other option they really have is Chigasumi from set 1, but he is an 8k base. And his power, his attack is always changing, and it kind of goes against all the other Nubatama stuff. It's like if your hand is bigger than the opponent, then he's 11k, but if not, he's 8k. So that's why I don't like him. The 10k is harder to get rid of, and in a clan that's kind of like under-supported, you kind of want to prevent rushes and things like that. So Grade 1, 8K vanilla, just because there isn't really anything else. And I don't want to mess up the grade ratio. So this was actually a Hagakure, which is a grade 0 from set 1, which is actually a hand disruption card when it's placed on Guardian Circle, but I took that out mainly because I am running 9 grade 3s. I feel Voidmaster is overall more useful in Stride format than Hagakure because he's grade 3 instead of grade 0, so I can use him as Stride fodder if I need to. So 1 8K because there's really nothing better to run as of right now. Then 4 Tempest Stealth Rogue. He is how do I explain this guy? So basically he's kind of like the that thing that CBD has that goes in the soul. So you CB1, you can put him in the soul, and if the opponent's hand is 3 or less, you can do that during the main phase to bind a random card from the opponent's hand. So the nice thing about this is you get to pick the card from your opponent's hand. You don't get to see it, you don't get to see their hand, but you randomly pick a card and they bind it face down. And then at the end of the turn, they get to put it back in their hand. So this can potentially snipe a perfect guard from the hand, or like a 10k shield or something. So really good. And then probably the best grade 1 that they have, another card from set 1. So Dreadmaster, everyone hates Dreadmaster every time they play against Nubatama. So he is the best booster. You always want him to be behind the Vanguard. When the attack hits, and the nice thing about him is when the attack hits, meaning it doesn't have to hit the Vanguard, and this is from like the first booster pack of the game. So if the number of cards in your hand is less than the opponent's, you can CB1. The opponent has to discard a card from the hand. So really good at keeping decks that have large hand advantage in check with a guy like this. They really hate this card. And then 4 perfect guards, because that's all they have. And then for the trigger lineup, I don't have the promo critical, so I'm just running the rainbow. Nice thing about running rainbow is with Voidmaster on the field, like, they hate this guy standing. And also the stand is a Marvel clone or a Flame of Victory clone. You can put it in the soul, get 3k. So works really good with the starter. And then the starter, of course, is Stealth Piece Kuroko. Kuroko is actually a very good card. I was considering running a second one of these, mainly because they don't have Legion, and Kagero loves Retire This Thing. Shadow Paladin, Revengers love to retire this thing. Because this is a really big threat card. So I may actually bump this up to 2, maybe take him out again, or take one of these out or something, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys are running if you're running Nubatama. Nubatama is a very fun deck. It's really annoying for the opponent. For the strides, I only have the Fighters Collection double R, but it's pretty decent. So when it hits, your opponent has to discard a card. So it's funny because it's like either they guard him and they go minus anyway, or they let it hit and then they take damage and then they have to discard a card. So this is like a really good stride unit. Very basic stride unit, but very effective stride unit. And then 3 Harmonix Messiah, and then 1 Atmos and 1 Blizza. So they only have 1 of each of these guys. Otherwise, I'd recommend running like just still the 1 Blizza, but probably like 4 Atmos, or maybe 4 of this and like 3 Atmos or something, or some combination of that. But yeah, that's basically Nubatama. You don't see a lot of people playing Nubatama because they're very undersupported, but it's one of those like rogue decks, kind of like Grand Blue, that some people will still play. So I hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile, and let me know what you think of the deck and the clan in general, and if they're going to get support in the future. So as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.